In the first episode, we talked about why design for manufacturing is so important. Today, let's look at some of the most common mistakes we see in product development when DFM is overlooked and how to avoid them. One of the mistakes we see often is overcomplicated geometry. Designers sometimes add unnecessary curves, sharp corners, or thin walls that looks great in CAD, but are extremely difficult or expensive to machine, mold, or manufacture. Simplifying shapes often reduce costs and improve reliability without affecting performance, considering the specific manufacturing process we should use. Another common mistake is wrong tolerances for the process. Different manufacturing methods have different industry accepted ranges. For example, CNC machining of metal can achieve very tight tolerance, while casting processes are far looser. Injection molding of plastics falls somewhere in between, and processes like rubber extrusion have even more variations. Designing a part with tolerances that doesn't match the process often makes it unnecessarily expensive or even impossible to produce. This is also where geometry and material comes into play. Sometimes a design that works in one material can't be replicated in another because the tolerances and process limits just doesn't align. The feature that's achievable in machined aluminum might be completely impractical in molded plastics or extrusion. Choosing the wrong material is another common mistake. For example, selecting a high-grade stainless steel when a lower-cost aluminum would deliver the same strength for the application. The wrong choice doesn't just increase the cost, it can slow down the lead time or even make the product impossible to produce at scale. The other mistake we see often is designing without considering assembly. Product may look fantastic as an individual part, but when it comes to assembly, it requires too many steps, fasteners, and manual labor. DFM encourages you to think about how parts fit together early, so it reduces the time, cost, and error. And finally, forgetting about the process limitation. Every manufacturing method has constraints. Injection molding needs draft angles for part release, sheet metal forming has bending limits, and machining has tool access requirements. Ignoring these realities means costly redesigns later. But the good news is all of these mistakes are preventable by involving DFM early in the design phase. You can simplify geometries, select appropriate materials, set realistic tolerances for the process, and design for efficient assembly. The result is a product that is easier to make, cheaper to produce, and fast to scale. And just as importantly, you avoid frustrations of last-minute redesigns when you should be heading to market. In the next episode, we will focus specifically on material selection and how it shapes manufacturing outcomes. If you'd like to dive deeper into today's topic, check out the blog link into this video, which will be released later this week. Thank you.